Hey, what's up, dads and YouTube? So today I wanted to walk through a little bit of a project working on in the backyard. We are trying to plant a few gardens. Started about a month ago with a raised bed in the far side of the backyard. I'll show you guys in a second. But really excited to see kind of really what God's doing, growing some really good fruits and veggies and spices and plants already. So here we go. The plan for this bed, I identified some of the irrigation lines that are going to some of these plants back here. So I'm just going to tap into that line and use a couple of the ones that came from the bush we removed right here. And we want these to be pretty similar in dimension to the first one. So we just used some chalk originally, but these ones are going to sit right about here. And for this raised bed, we measured out, the distance from the wall is about a little over 6 feet. So we're going to make these right around 4.5 feet. Give a little bit of space to kind of come in front here and keep them away from the curb, and a little bit of space in the back there as well. And then this one, I'm going to remove this bush and relocate this light right here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to have this one about 4.5 feet by about 3 feet wide right here. So the only supplies I really needed for this project were 4 2x6 by 8 foot beams, pressure treated lumber. Did a bunch of research online. Seemed to be a good choice to kind of combat any rot from longer term gardens and water exposure. And then I got a couple of 2x4 by 10s, which I'm going to use to make stakes to kind of secure these raised beds into the ground in that particular area. Also provide a little bit of structural support and integrity. And then I bought those decking screws, which are the black coated with the Star Drive. They seem to work great. I did pre-drill holes, and so we'll walk through that process now. Finished up cutting all of the 2x6 beams, or pressure treated pieces of lumber. Everything looks pretty clean. Definitely not perfect with this type of a project, so not a lot of accuracy on the measurements, but pretty dang close to 3 feet by 4.5 feet. For the stakes that are going to secure this into the ground, I have this 2x4 by 10 beam, and so on this I'm just going to divide this into 6, so I have 6 stakes for each of the boxes, and then I'm going to cut spikes on the end of them with the saw. But all I did was I measured out every 2 feet. I just put a mark. They're a little long to handle by myself right now without popping up and maybe hitting me or hitting that blade on the saw, so I might grab a circ saw here and just kind of zing these on the end here. Oh, missed that just a little bit. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill these holes. I'm a big fan of pre-drilling, so as you can kind of see hopefully there on the YouTube video, this drill bit's a little bit smaller, but I like that. I'm going to use this for my pre-drilling, and probably use a smaller guy to do these pilot holes. Normally I'd put everything kind of together and set it, but I think I might just start drilling some holes on the ends for these guys. Okay, so got the beds laid down. Look pretty good. Just need to do some leveling. So, all right, so we're back a couple days later. Couldn't work on the project until now. Beautiful morning out, and I decided that on these stakes, the last time I had to pound them in with the sledgehammer, I really wish I would have had a little bit more aggressive angles on them. So I'm gonna try and use the circ saw and just make the stakes a little bit sharper and have a longer taper on them. So I'm basically just pounding in the stakes as far as I can go. I was able to get the other raised bed stakes pretty far down, flush with the top, but this dirt is really hard right here. So I think I'm just gonna pound them in as hard as I can get and then cut them off the top with a saw. So this is kind of what this one looks like. And we just put 2 screws in to hold it in place. That's as far as I think I'm gonna get that one. This is as far as I think I'm gonna get that one before I have to cut it off. All right, so looks okay. Kind of cut these for the recip saw, and got them all flush. Now we're just gonna level out this and start cutting felt for this start bed, and I'm gonna start pounding in stakes for over here. I thought I'd do a stake in the middle point, but I really don't think this bed needs it. So we'll leave it at 4 right now. All right, here we go. We got the felt starting to lay down. I'm not sure whether we're gonna staple this to the walls like we did on the first raised bed. Or not. We're just leveling this one out before we set all the stakes over there.
Hi guys!
Hello. All right, so just finished up stapling this felt. Now we're gonna trim it. Ran out of the black felt halfway through, so just gonna use some other felt to head around the house. And let's see, just got staples around there. And I'm gonna staple this one over here and start filling. One of the last steps here, putting the soil in, and we're just gonna plant some seeds and run our drip lines. But we got some organic Miracle-Gro Costco, and starting to mix it in. Get it nice in the corners to hold our felt down, and then we can start dumping it in a little bit more quickly. All right, so these are the bags we used. 50 quarts, Miracle-Gro Organic Choice from Costco. And our raised bed is about 3 feet by 4.5 feet. And we're gonna put about 6 bags in here. Quick tip on how to spread this mulch pretty easy if you're opening bags to fill these. So take a look at this tip. All you're gonna do is just kind of cut it on the top right here. And then I just cut it across the top right here. And then you just have to flip it over. And all that mulch should come out pretty easy once you pull up. There's some stakes. And then irrigation tubing with drip lines every 6 inches. They do just under a gallon per hour if they're running fully. All right, getting close over here. Need to pick up a few extra stakes to hold the irrigation tubing in place, but have a nice little curve pattern in there. And then we can kind of straighten that out and maybe put a bubbler on the very tip of this one, or just leave it. And then I'm going to connect these 2 irrigation lines to get the bubbler going on this side. Okay.
Hi, Dad. We made Baymax.
All right, what'd you guys do? What was the assignment?
To make a contest that had to do with making wood out of robots. Yes, and it was out of wood.
Okay, so the contest was to use all the scrap wood from our raised bed project and make robots.
This is Baymax.
This is Baymax? Where's Baymax from?
Hero 6.
Big Hero 6? You guys, this stuff looks so good. All right, what's this over here?
I don't know.
Yeah? What is it? Explain your invention.
It looks like it's kind of screen. A mountain?
Is it a mountain or
Yes,
a house?
It's a mountain.
It's a mountain house? Nice job, guys.